And now, 92.1 WVTK presents Addison and Essex County, Your Voice, with KG.
And welcome to Your Voice on 92.1 WVTK and 921WVTK.com. And joining me this afternoon on Your Voice is Jim Jones. Good afternoon, Jim.
Well, thank you, KG, for letting me be a voice on the voice.
Well, it's great to have you here. I haven't seen you in quite a while.
No.
Jim is a railroad enthusiast and also videographer. And you've been doing a lot of work making videos on railways in Vermont. And, what got you into this?
Well, I guess you would blame my grandfather, first of all, because he worked up in Richford, Vermont as a station agent there, which was a border town on the Canadian Pacific. And my father, from the Richford area, worked for the Vermont Railway through Middlebury and Addison County. My mother also worked for the railroad on the Sugar Bush Express. And She did. She was the car hostess, and basically she was in charge of the other host. She was the car captain. She was in charge of all of the train stuff except actually running the locomotive.
Well, so the the railway went from Bristol through Middlebury, and when did that start in Bristol?
The Bristol Railroad, that came much later. The railroad through Middlebury and Vergennes, parts of Addison County. The line that is still in existence was built in 1848. And the town of Bristol, of course, was eyeing this rail thing that was going on in the 1850s and 60s and 70s with envy, thinking, wouldn't it be cool if we could have a railroad in our town? And it wasn't until 1891 that Bristol actually received its little 6-mile railroad, which went from that brick station, which is still there at New Haven Junction, 6 miles to Bristol.
Huh. Well, amazing.
It was one of Vermont's last railroads to be built and the first to go, so a lot of people don't even know it existed.
And when did the railway connect from, let's say, Middlebury to Rutland?
Middlebury to Rutland, still in. Sure, that was the main line of the Rutland Railroad, now the Vermont Railway.
Okay. And you have an appearance this evening in Bristol.
I will be in Bristol at 7 o'clock at Howden Hall, 19 West Street, basically doing a local history program about Bristol, New Haven, the lime kiln industry that was in that area. We'll talk about the classic brick station, which people drive by virtually every day there in New Haven, and some interesting anecdotes for Bristol's 250th birthday celebration.
Okay, so Bristol is celebrating its 250th celebration, and myself, I never knew there was a railway in Bristol. Never knew that. A
lot of people in Bristol don't know that Bristol had one. And this time of the year would be very hard to find, but in the fall when the trees, the leaves have come off from the trees, you can see huge stretches through the pastures of kind of a slight grade, a fill, and maybe a concrete culvert or stone culvert here and there. And that identifies where the Bristol Railroad was until 1930.
Now, who did all this labor?
Italians.
As a matter of fact, I believe a lot of Italians were part of the Marble Works complex builders.
I have a feeling that some of those same ones moonlighted and worked on the Bristol Railroad to make some extra money.
They probably did.
Over 200 of them slapped the railroad together in 4 months.
And you have some great videos here. One, the last time I saw you, which was how many years ago?
We don't want to say.
No, but that was a Rutland Remnants 3 in Burlington, Brandon, and the bridges of Addison County. This is really, really neat. And you're going to be up there in Bristol. And what time again?
7 o'clock at Howden Hall on West Street.
Okay. Now, if folks want to get a hold of you, or, do you have a website showing your videos?
Vermont Made Videos, that's with an S, vermontmadevideos.com.
Alrighty, well, have yourself a great speech up there. It was very interesting to know that there was actually a railway up in Bristol.
It carried coffins and potatoes and sometimes people.
You learn something new every day, folks, especially in this business. Again, that is Jim Jones, railway enthusiast and videographer, and he's got some great videos out if you want to check it out. Again, what's your website one more time?
VermontMadeVideos.com.
Okay, thank you, Jim Jones, for joining us today on Your Voice.
Addison and Essex County, your voice, with KG is produced for WVTK by Ken Gilbert and serves as a connection to your hometown. If you're a local nonprofit organization, civic group, school, or are involved in the local vibrant arts and entertainment scene and want to spread the word about your organization or special event, then visit 921wvtk.com. Keyword voice.